Let's talk about this little agency called Mischief for a second. To me, it's irrefutable that over the past 4 years that there's no other agency that has been on as much of a tear than Mischief, and just constantly talked about, constantly doing great work. Like all great stories, it kind of starts with disappointment and probably heartache, maybe some defeat. From the ashes came this amazing story. You were very publicly laid off from BBDO after like a 9-year incredible run as the CCO, a legendary CCO that was involved in a lot of wonderful work there at BBDO, and then had this probably, I would imagine, very shocking and public layoff. When you were at your lowest point, could you have ever imagined what has transpired?
Not at all. No. You're right. It is kind of like the classic Joseph Campbell story arc. But yeah, I mean, it was very shocking to me. But if you remember back at the time, it's kind of hard to, it's not been that long, but it's kind of hard to put yourself back in that place of like nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Like, were we ever going to come out of the pandemic? Was life ever going to get back to normal? We're still on lockdown. Like, you couldn't go out anywhere. And so, out of the blue, one day I get a call from David who said, they're making cuts and you are one of them. And, process that. But, I think what happened in a lot of the reasons I think we got attention right away is that I think a lot of people saw themselves in me, because what I kept hearing is like, if it could happen to you, nobody's safe, for all this kind of thing. I don't know if that's true, but I do remember people feeling that. And I think that's, when it was so public and it was so kind of like at the peak of no one knows what the fuck is going on, that I think that helped in a way build the story. Yeah. And people were kind of watching to see what I was going to do. I kind of felt that pressure of like, I got to do something quick. I can't sit around. Yeah. So I was just talking to my partner, Dave LaFond, who I founded, one of the partners of Mischief. I was just talking to him today because he's like, we found this text that was April 28th on 2000, almost exactly 4 years ago. And it was the first time I reached out to him going, hey, what are you guys doing over there? It looks kind of interesting. And this was, a week, 2 weeks after I got let go. We basically built the agency and launched in less than 5 weeks from being complete strangers.
Oh my gosh.
So I was not sitting around. My lowest point was like for the day I got laid off going. But, the one thing I kept feeling is like the world is upside down. I'm not the only one. Like, it's not just me who's spinning right now. So I can't freak out too much because look, nobody knows what's going on. And I kind of also saw it as an opportunity of, okay, if no one knows what's going on, no one also knows what's going to be next. Why don't we try to build that?
There's a lot of sort of naive optimism in what you just said. Do you think that's one of your superpowers, is naive optimism?
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. I think you're right. Is I tend to just go like, what's the bright side of this? Like, how can we? With every setback, there's a opportunity. I always try to find that opportunity. I go, okay, this could be something different. It might not be better, might not be worse, but let's see what's out there. There's a great Danish, I think it's Danish, saying that said, don't complain about the wind, learn to sail, which I think is like a really good way to look at life.
Hey everybody, if you're interested in making better work and would like to know exactly how my teams and I at Wieden & Kennedy and now at Alto have been making award-winning work for the past 20 years on brands like Nike, Old Spice, KFC, and others, I have what has been called the industry's premier creative coaching and mentorship program. I didn't call it that, but other people did, and then I just said it into this microphone just now. I've taken almost 700 creatives through my program so far, and they have an average 5-star rating. Is that 5 out of 10? If that's 5 out of 10, that's a really bad rating. Oh, it's 5 out of 5. It's 5 out of 5, everybody. That's an A+. These programs are not for everyone, but if you qualify, I will personally teach you exactly, step by step, how to rapidly start doing the best work of your life. I have sessions starting in 1 week, and nearly every session so far has sold out. So if you are interested in grabbing one of the final remaining spots, you can apply at the link below. I hope to see you there.